A very good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us start the bulletin with the top headlines. Previous governments ignored India's villages since independence, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a rally in West Bengal promises to work for a new India. Prime Minister to launch 2 railway projects in the state later in the day. Interim budget only a trailer of new India to come, says Prime Minister Modi. Union Minister Arun Jaitley calls it a pro-poor, pro-farmer and pro-growth exercise. Says Modi's leadership has provided India a decisive government. Opposition claims centre ignored states and education sector in the interim budget. Industry leaders call it a balanced budget that will boost economic growth. Pune police arrests Dalit scholar Anand Teltumbre for alleged involvement in the Bhima Koregaon violence case. Teltumbre to be presented before the court in Pune today. And US suspends intermediate-range nuclear forces treaty with Russia, cites Chinese and Russian threats, packed a centerpiece of European security since the Cold War. The top story this afternoon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the public in West Bengal's Thakur Nagar in North 24 Parganas district a short while ago. And speaking at the rally, the Prime Minister said that the previous governments have ignored India's villages since independence and promised to work for the development of the villages. He also spoke about the interim budget and the schemes which will benefit more than 12 crore farmers and labourers. The Prime Minister will visit Durgapur later in the day, where he will dedicate to the nation the railway electrification of the 294-kilometre long Andal-Senthia Pakur Malda and the Khana-Senthia railway line sections in Durgapur. He will also inaugurate a 20-kilometre long Hijli Narayangarh third line. The electrification of this section will enable the ease of transportation of coal, stone, chips to the north and the northeast of the country in a seamless manner.
भाग्य से आजादी के बाद भी अनेक दशकों तक गांव की स्थिति पर उतना ध्यान नहीं दिया गया जितना देना चाहिए थे। यहां पश्चिम बंगाल में तो स्थिति और भी खराब है। जो बीत गया वो बीत गया। नया भारत अब इस स्थिति में नहीं रह सकता और इसी चीज के साथ, इसी सोच के साथ बीते 4.5 वर्षों से इस स्थिति को बदलने का एक ईमानदार प्रयास केंद्र की सरकार कर रही है। गांव हो, किसान हो, कामगार के जीवन को आसान बनाने में जुटी हुई है। अपनी इसी प्राथमिकता को विस्तार देते हुए कल एक ऐतिहासिक कदम उठाया गया है। देश के इतिहास में पहली बार किसानों और कामगारों के लिए बहुत बड़ी योजनाओं का ऐलान किया गया है।
And on the budget, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that this year's interim budget touches all sections of the society and includes everyone. In his remarks after the interim budget was presented in Parliament, he asserted that the interim budget is merely a trailer of what will guide India towards prosperity after the Lok Sabha polls. The Prime Minister added that the budget will boost the efforts of 130 crore Indians in realizing the goal of a new India. He said that the budget will empower the poor and farmers and will give an impetus to economic growth. The Prime Minister added that over 12 crore farmers and their families, over 3 crore middle-class taxpayers, professionals and their families, and 30 to 40 crore labourers will be benefited. The Prime Minister said that government's development initiatives covering all segments have been included in the budget proposals. Prime Minister Modi complimented the middle class on getting relief from taxes. He also said that poverty has been falling at a record rate due to the efforts of his government. He said the Prime Minister Kisan Nidhi is a historic step to uplift the farmers.
इस बढ़ते मिडिल क्लास की आशा आकांक्षाओं को कुछ कर दिखाने के जज्बे को हौसला मिले, उसको सपोर्ट मिले, इसके लिए सरकार ने अपनी प्रतिबद्धता दिखाई है। मैं देश के मिडिल क्लास, सैलरीड मिडिल क्लास को इनकम टैक्स दरों में मिली छूट के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। ये मध्यम वर्ग और उच्च मध्यम वर्ग की उदारता ही है, उनकी ईमानदारी ही है, कानून को मानकर चलने की उनकी प्रतिबद्धता ही है, जिसकी वजह से देश को टैक्स मिलता है, देश की योजनाएं बनती हैं, गरीब का कल्याण होता है। बरसों से ये मांग रही है कि 5 लाख रुपए तक की आय को इनकम टैक्स से मुक्त घोषित किया जाए। इतने वर्षों से की जा रही इस मांग को पूरा करने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है।
And Union Minister Arun Jaitley has described the interim budget as pro-growth, fiscally prudent, pro-farmer and pro-poor, and one that gives more purchasing power to the Indian middle class. In a series of tweets, Arun Jaitley said that between 2014 to 2019, every budget has given significant relief to the middle class. And complimenting the Piyush Goyal for delivering the budget speech, Arun Jaitley added that the budget expands spending and furthers the agenda of the government headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the challenges of the economy. Jaitley also said that the budget also featured a huge giveaway for farmers.
Rural roads, 91% completed. Rural housing, 2022, everyone will have a roof. 98.7% people in rural areas now have sanitation. Every willing home is having an electricity. Every poor man has switched over the cooking methods. Interest subvention on loans up to 12 lakh crores being given to farmers. The government is taking the burden of cheaper loans. Higher spending on irrigation, rural infrastructure. Then they get an indirect subsidy and a support. A very large number of them are within Ayushman Bharat, so free health care. Then you have a number of them who get the Manrega benefit, which used to be 28,000 crores during UPA, which is now 60,000 crores.
Meanwhile, Congress President Rahul Gandhi has criticized the government's announcement of income support to farmers, and reacting on the interim budget, he, in a series of tweets, said that giving farmers 17 rupees a day is an insult to everything that they stand and work for. Echoing similar sentiments, many other opposition parties said that most of the provisions of the budget are aimed at garnering votes.
I don't think giving farmers 17 rupees a day is adequately addressing anything. I think it's an insult. I think it's an insult to the Indian farmer to turn around and tell him that you're going to give him 17 rupees every day. I mean, there couldn't be a bigger insult than this.
We feel this budget is actually it's an expiry budget. Budget of desperation. Actually, this budget, what will be not implemented. Why this assumption? Because before election what we see, actually the new government, they decide the budget, they pass the new budget.
देखिए, बजट पूर्णतः चुनावी भाषण है। इसमें न तो युवाओं के लिए कोई बात की गई है। आज देश के युवा रोजगार के लिए भटक रहे हैं, तो कोई रोजगार सृजन का प्रावधान इसमें नहीं दिख रहा है।
India Inc. has welcomed the interim budget, with many experts believing that the government has given prime importance to the middle class and farmers by providing a tax rebate up to 5 lakh rupees per annum and assured income support for farmers. The Traders Association, however, has said that the budget has little for them.
हेल्थ केयर के लिए बहुत सारी अच्छी गुड न्यूज़ है इसमें, स्पेशली जैसे आपने बोला यूथ के लिए, एमएसएमई के लिए जो 6.5 लाख रुपए तक के लिए इनकम टैक्स 100% एग्जम्पशन है, दैट्स अ वेरी गुड न्यूज़ एंड वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट बिकॉज वी आर फेसिंग नाउ in a couple of months election. So in that respect, I think this is a populist budget. Specific to pharmaceutical industry, vaccine or biotechnology, we have not seen anything great coming up.
The government has done right. There has been no great populist announcement. There's been no major policy announcements other than for the farm sector. And I think he has touched two of the biggest pain points that society was feeling. Middle class, he has provided very welcome tax reliefs. And for the farm community, particularly the distressed agrarian sector, there's been a clear message: we hear your pain and we have begun the steps to address you. And this is the first time in independent India that the central government has gone for a direct benefit transfer.
The income tax benefit to me is the very big highlight, and for the farmers the direct income of 6,000 rupees that is going to accrue to him in a way are the highlights.
मेरा सोचना ये है कि एक बजट जो है ये एक आम आदमी के लिए है और जिसे बोलते हैं हम रियल इंडिया के लिए है, और जो प्रधानमंत्री जी का विजन है 5 ट्रिलियन इकॉनमी इन नेक्स्ट 5 इयर्स, उसका एक फाउंडेशन स्टोन है। आज जो इश्यूज़ थे फार्मर्स के और मध्यम वर्ग के इंडस्ट्रीज़ के डिमांड के, उन सबको इसमें एड्रेस किया गया है।
देखा जाए तो ये एक अच्छा बजट है जिसमें सभी वर्गों को सरकार ने कुछ ना कुछ देने की चेष्टा की है, किंतु व्यापारियों की दृष्टि से देखें तो व्यापारियों के लिए ये बजट कोई बहुत सकारात्मक नहीं है, क्योंकि व्यापारियों के लिए इस बजट में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जिसको उल्लेखनीय किया जा सके।
Time now to take a look at the key takeaways from the Interim Budget 2019 presented by Finance Minister Piyush Goyal yesterday. Well, the budget kept farmers in the forefront with an announcement of an assured income support for vulnerable farmers under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. Now, the benefit includes 6,000 rupees per year to farmers in 3 installments. The scheme applies to farmers with less than 2 hectares of land holding. Farmers occupy prime place in the Interim Budget 2019. 20 proposals announced the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal said it provides 12 crore vulnerable land-holding farmer families with cultivable land up to 2 hectares direct income support of 6,000 rupees per year. The first installment for the period up to 31st of March 2019 will be paid this year itself.
पीएम किसान इस योजना के तहत जो वल्नरेबल किसान हैं, जो छोटी ज़मीन रखते हैं, 2 हेक्टेयर तक की जिनकी ज़मीन है, 2 हेक्टेयर तक की ज़मीन को, उन सभी को सीधा उनके इनकम में सपोर्ट, डायरेक्ट इनकम सपोर्ट 6,000 रुपये प्रति वर्ष के हिसाब से देने का निर्णय सरकार ने किया है। This income support will be transferred directly into the bank accounts of beneficiary farmers in 3 equal installments of rupees 2,000 each. This program will be funded 100% by the Government of India.
Another huge benefit for farmers is towards repayment of crop loans. All farmers affected by severe natural calamities where assistance is provided from National Disaster Relief Fund have been entitled to a benefit of interest subvention of 2%, 3% for timely repayment of the loans.
Our government has now decided that all farmers affected by severe natural calamities where assistance is provided from the National Disaster Relief Fund will be provided the benefit of interest subvention of 2% and prompt repayment incentive of 3% for the entire period of reschedulement of the loan.
For the animal husbandry and fisheries sector, the government, in addition to creating a separate department of fisheries, has provided 2% interest subvention to farmers who avail loans through Kisan Credit Card, 3% more for timely repayment of loans. There is also an allocation for Rashtriya Gokul Mission up to 750 crore rupees in the current year. Further then, Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog upscales sustainable genetic upgradation of cow resources, and increases production and productivity of cows. The Prime Minister Kisan Scheme is also expected to provide assured supplemental income for vulnerable farmers before harvest season. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And a mega pension scheme was announced by the Finance Minister in the budget. The Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan is for unorganized sector workers who earn up to 15,000 rupees a month. The scheme will cater to 10 crore laborers and workers in the organized sector over the next 5 years.
In the Interim Budget 2019, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal announced one of the largest pension schemes in the world. The mega pension scheme, called the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan, is for unorganized sector workers who earn up to 15,000 rupees a month. The scheme will benefit 10 crore laborers and workers in the unorganized sector in the next 5 years.
हमारी सरकार का यह दृढ़ विश्वास रहा है कि तेजी से बढ़ती हुई अर्थव्यवस्था का लाभ कामगारों और सरकारी सेवाओं में कार्यरत सभी लोगों को मिलना चाहिए। पिछले 5 वर्षों में भारत में औद्योगिक शांति का माहौल रहा है। High growth and formalization of the economy has led to the expansion of employment opportunities as shown in EPFO membership, which has increased by nearly 2 crore in 2 years, reflecting formalization of the economy. And obviously, when there is such high growth, jobs are created.
The pension scheme will provide the unorganized workers an assured monthly pension of 3,000 rupees from the age of 60 years for a small monthly contribution. An unorganized sector worker joining the scheme at the age of 29 years will have to contribute 100 rupees a month till the age of 60 years, while a worker joining at 18 years of age will have to contribute only 55 rupees a month. The government will deposit an equal matching share in the pension account every month. A sum of 500 crore rupees has been allocated for the scheme. Additional funds will be provided as and when needed. Piyush Goyal also announced that the new pension scheme has been liberalized. Keeping the contribution of the employee at 10%, the government contribution has been raised by 4%, making it 14%. Maximum ceiling of the bonus given to labourers has been increased from 3,500 rupees to 7,000 rupees per month, and the maximum ceiling of the pay has been increased from 10,000 rupees to 21,000 rupees per month. The ceiling on payment of gratuity has also been enhanced from 10 lakh rupees to 20 lakh rupees. The minimum wages of labourers of all categories have also been increased by 42%, which is the highest ever. The ceiling of ESI's eligibility cover has been increased from 15,000 rupees per month to 21,000 rupees per month. Minimum pension for every labourer has been fixed at 1,000 rupees per month. In the event of death of a labourer during service, the amount to be paid by EPFO has been enhanced from 2.5 lakh rupees to 6 lakh rupees. Under Anganwadi and Asha Yojana, honorarium has been enhanced by about 50% for all categories of workers.
Half of India's GDP comes from the sweat and toil of 42 crore workers in the unorganized sector, working as street vendors, rickshaw pullers, construction workers, rag pickers, agricultural workers, BD workers, handloom, leather, numerous other industries. घरेलू कामगार भी बड़ी संख्या में काम कर रहे हैं. We must provide them a comprehensive social security coverage for their old age. Therefore, in addition to the health coverage provided under Ayushman Bharat and life and disability coverage provided under Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, our government proposes to launch a mega pension yojana, namely Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan will be for the organized sector workers with monthly income up to rupees 15,000. This pension yojana shall provide them an assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000 after they achieve the age of 60 years.
The interim budget also allocated 60,000 crore rupees for Manrega, a key scheme aimed at the rural poor. Introduced in 2005, the scheme promises unskilled manual work to every adult for at least 100 days in rural parts of the country. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Finance Minister also announced a raising of a tax exemption on income up to 5 lakh rupees per annum. Earlier, the 5% tax was levied on such an income. And during his budget speech, Goyal said that the major tax reforms undertaken by the government has led to a significant increase in tax collection and a widening of the tax base.
Making India a pollution-free nation.
The Finance Minister has a special bonanza for the middle class, a massive income tax relief in the form of a full rebate on annual income of 5 lakh for individual taxpayers, essentially meaning that people earning 5 lakh rupees per year will not be required to pay any income tax. With the proposed tax exemptions and taking into account exemptions on investments of around 1.5 lakh rupees per year, an individual taxpayer can now save tax on annual income of up to 6.5 lakh rupees. Goyal said the proposed exemptions will provide tax benefits of 18,500 crore rupees to 3 crore taxpayers.
For the present, the existing rates of income tax will continue for FY 19-20 also. I propose the following changes. Individual taxpayers having taxable annual income up to rupees 5 lakhs will get full tax rebate.
The Finance Minister also announced an increase in standard deduction for salaried persons from 40,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees per year. He also proposed to increase the threshold of tax deducted at source or TDS on rental income from 1.8 lakh rupees to 2.4 lakh rupees. Further, no tax will be deducted on interest earned on bank and post office deposits of up to 40,000 rupees annually, up from 10,000 rupees currently.
For salaried persons, standard deduction is being raised from the current 40,000 to rupees 50,000. This will provide additional tax benefit of rupees 4,700 crore to more than 3 crore salary earners and pensioners. TDS threshold on interest earned on bank or post office deposits is being raised from 10,000 to 40,000 rupees.
The budget also proposed to exempt tax on notional rent for unsold housing units for 2 years. Goyal proposed that benefit of rollover of capital tax gains be increased from investment in one residential house to that in 2 residential houses for a taxpayer having capital gains of up to 2 crore rupees. This can be exercised once in a lifetime. However, these exemptions are proposed for 2020-21 and won't be applicable for 2019-20. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. Goods and services tax collections have crossed 1 lakh crore rupees for the month of January, of which CGST is over 17,000 crore rupees, SGST is over 24,000 crore rupees, IGST is over 51,000 crore rupees, which includes 24,000 crore rupees collected on imports, and cess is over 8,000 crore rupees, which includes 902 crore rupees collected on imports. The Ministry of Finance said that the increase has been achieved despite various tax relief measures implemented by the GST Council to lower the tax burden on the consumers. The government had earlier this month ruled out any further cuts in GST rates until revenue collections improve. And on to the other top story this afternoon. The Pune police today arrested Dalit scholar Anand Teltumre for his alleged involvement in the Bhima Koregaon violence case. Pune police first detained and later arrested the Goa Institute of Management professor at the Mumbai airport today. Teltumre will be produced before a court in Pune later today. Teltumre's arrest comes a day after his request for anticipatory bail in the Bhima Koregaon case was rejected. According to the Pune police, Maoists had supported the Elgar Parishad conclave that was held in Pune on 31st of December 2017, in which inflammatory speeches led to violent clashes at the Koregaon Bhima War Memorial the next day. The top international focus: the United States is suspending the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or the NFT Treaty, a key pact with Russia that has been a centerpiece of European security since the Cold War. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo made the announcement on Friday, saying that Russia had been violating the terms of the treaty without remorse. He said that the move lifts what the US sees as unreasonable constraints on competing with a resurgent Russia and a more assertive China. However, the pullout has raised concerns about a renewed arms race with Moscow and put European allies on edge. Democrats in Congress and also some arms control advocates have criticized Donald Trump's decision as opening the door to an arms race. The US will begin withdrawing from the treaty, which will be effective in 6 months. The Soviet Union and the United States signed the INF Treaty in 1987. The deal marked the first ever pact reached by Washington and Moscow on nuclear disarmament and marked a major step forward in restricting the arms race.
Russia has refused to take any steps to return real and verifiable compliance over these 60 days. The United States will therefore suspend its obligations under the INF Treaty effective February 2nd.
Эта игра отыграна, американцы, конечно, договор в итоге отбросят. Таким образом будет нанесен мощнейший удар по пока еще существующей системе международного контроля за вооружениями и нераспределения.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.